The 5 Series is one of the BMW Group's most successful model series. Since 1972, over 5.5 million of them have been sold. In 1972, the first generation of the BMW 5 Series is released to the market. Following the very popular new class, the 5 Series marks the beginning of an unbelievable success story. The first generation of the 5 Series was a big step towards modernity. It established a new BMW design language. It was bigger, more comfortable, sportier, and basically superior in any way compared to its predecessor. Already in the 60s, the foundation for the BMW design is laid. The first generation BMW 5 Series strengthens this design language in the 70s and establishes it as the trademark of BMW. To provide the BMW 5 Series with a certain dynamic, we gave it a wedge shape so that the radiator grille would be reminiscent of a shark. The headlights with a diameter of 20 centimeters, which we were using back then, were difficult to integrate. By comparison, it's marvelous how creative you can work with LED lights these days. We have many design icons which are already implemented here. It's the starting signal for the modernization of the model range in the 70s and is presented in completion for the first time in this model. The interior portrays space and comfort. The instruments, switches, and control elements are grouped around the driver. I had the idea to create better ergonomics. This is why I envisioned an ergonomic movement stretching from the steering wheel towards the gearshift assembly. I used this approach for the first time in the BMW 1600 Ti. Subsequently, it was developed further in the BMW 520 and later in the BMW 630 Coupe models. Inseparably of the first generation BMW 5 Series is the introduction of the model series nomenclature. We have single figures which identify the model series, followed essentially by 2 figures which represent the engine's cubic capacity. We deliberately left space between these single figures, the 3, 5, 7, and the 6 series, to be able to implement further models. At the heart of every BMW lies its engine. Looking under the hood, it already promises sheer driving pleasure. The 5 Series of the first generation is released on the market in 1972 in the 520i version with 4 cylinders, but the range of engines keeps growing. Only 1 year later, we added the 6-cylinder engines from the luxury class into the 5 Series. They are known for their smooth, quiet running, the distinctive BMW sound, and set standards in the upper mid-range class. For example, the BMW 528 packs an impressive 165 horsepower under the hood. Despite its weight of 1.4 tons, it accelerates from 0 to 100 in less than 10 seconds. Additionally, the subject of security plays an important role in the BMW 5 Series. For the BMW 520, we used computers for the safety-related elements. There was a type of roll bar at the roof, providing protection in case of an accident. In case of an impact, we calculated the crumple zones in the back and in the front with a computer. The production of the first generation 5 Series starts in the BMW plant in Munich. The enormous growth and the increasing sales figures in the 60s lead BMW to open up a new factory in Dingolfing. From the fall of '73 onwards, the 5 Series is rolling off the assembly line in Lower Bavaria. This plant was built for big model series, but we were confronted with criticism from the press. A few weeks after the start of the oil crisis, when we wanted to produce the 5 Series there, the echo in the press was rather negative. But the decision was correct. In '77, we already produced over a third more automobiles with 290,000 units. Today, the first generation of the BMW 5 Series is considered a classic. It lays the foundation for one of the most successful BMW model series. Between 1972 and 1981, the 5 Series was sold almost 700,000 times. The second generation BMW 5 Series, released in 1981. The look is only slightly different to its predecessor.
Die größten Veränderungen waren aber
The most significant changes were done to the interior, with a completely new cockpit. The driver-oriented design had first been used in 1975 with the first 3 series. During development, the focus was on the numerous technical improvements. For example, the new drivetrain. The 5 Series has taken over from the 7 Series. One of the reasons for the development of the drivetrain is the ABS, which is an available optional feature. The ABS caused the front wheels to vibrate, but when the braking force on the lever arm connected to the steering was too intense, it vibrated so badly that we thought that the windows would fly out of the car. Then my boss said, we have to invent something that turns the wheel on one point behind the brake disc. So we took the triangle of the track control arm and strut apart, added a ball joint to each one, and at the intersection of these 2 connecting rods was the ideal pivot point. In order to generate the complex calculations needed to create the drivetrain, the engineers are already using computer technology. At BMW, we had one computer. It could do as much as a pocket calculator from today. It was used for both spare parts logistics and payroll. We received permission to do our calculations with it. The computer engineering also makes it possible that in this 5 Series, considerably more electric and electronic functions can be found than in its predecessor, like the digital engine electronics and one of the world's first direct energy control. This is live feedback for the driver. He immediately sees what he's doing, making the driver aware of how to drive efficiently. Efficient dynamics today still plays an important role. The 2nd generation BMW 5 Series is strongly influenced by 2 motor concepts: the ETA concept and the diesel engine. We avoided the topic for quite some time. BMW was of the opinion that a diesel just wasn't typically BMW, didn't show the driving dynamics, wasn't clean enough. Therefore, we waited a long time until '75, also in the course of the oil crisis, to start thinking about a diesel. We wanted to design a 6-cylinder model that was as close as possible to the automotor. It had to run smoothly, have high revolutions, and exhaust gas turbo, and naturally, it had to be a straight 6-cylinder. The results are impressive. In 1983, BMW presents the 524 TD, the fastest series-produced turbo diesel in the world. Its top speed is 180 kilometers per hour. With that, on to the 2nd concept, the ETA motor. ETA being the Greek letter for efficiency. The idea was completely different to today. We'll take this 2-liter 6-cylinder and we don't downsize it. Instead, we increase the displacement to 2.7 liters and reduce the RPMs. That means this car also produced 129 horsepower, not at over 6,000 RPMs, but already at 4,250. The 525 ETA had a fuel consumption that was 9% lower in comparison to the 520i, and with that, better performance. In 1988, production of the 2nd generation BMW 5 Series comes to an end. In total, the vehicle was sold approximately 722,000 times. Reliable, powerful, and efficient. The BMW 5 Series becomes a milestone in the company's history. For senior engineer Ralf Langmeier, it is the beginning of his career at BMW. In the 80s, he starts as a student in the exterior design department for the car. Then, and still today, he is convinced by its performance and longevity.
So the fascinating thing for me as a BMW enthusiast is to have an inline 6-cylinder in a sporty shape, and it's a very classic and sporty car, also for me up to date.
The BMW 5 Series was released in 1988. The car offers a variety of extras, such as a 4-wheel drive for the first time in this segment. The entire range of engines is available, with 4, 6, or 8 cylinders, from 113 up to 143 horsepower.
You could design and you could fashion this car very individual, could have lots of extras, interior as well, also in the exterior design.
The successful concept makes the car into a bestseller. Until today, it can still be seen frequently on the road. The car body is characterized by clear lines. Aerodynamic aspects play an important part. The surface is almost seamless. All profiles mesh. The entry into the now common flash design.
The exterior is very functional with lots of aerodynamic and techniques also in the bonnet here, and also the wiper system with a special aerodynamic function here. And also the windscreen is very modern because it's first time glued in the body in white for more stiffness. And also this flash design on the windscreen and also on the doors. No gap, no steps, only a smooth surface here.
The BMW 5 Series, a prototype for the upper middle class. An indestructible classic, which even fulfills a lot of manufacturer requirements of today.
It's a very long life quality with very quality in the body in white with protection for the corrosion. And so you also see today, 20 years after the launch of this car, lots of cars all over the world.
The fourth generation BMW 5 Series is a true driver of innovation. Like no other, it combines driving performance, the latest technology, and comfort. In December 1995, this generation of the 5 Series comes to the market. The design was clearly more sporty and elegant than with its predecessor. The aerodynamics were also significantly better. With the E39, the highlight was simply the drag coefficient of 0.27. One was always near 0.3. It was like a barrier that you just couldn't get past. It was a turning point for aerodynamics. This vehicle had, contrary to its predecessor, a beautiful rounded roof. This sill, when you looked at it, it was pulled outwards and protected the rear wheel from wind current. Another very important point. In front of the front wheels, the car had a lot of space beneath the skirt, so the front wheel is well ventilated. The interior of the fourth generation also differs substantially from its predecessor. It's more spacious, has an attractive appearance, and offers a lot of comfort features. For example, the multifunction steering wheel, a car telephone, or the onboard computer. Above and beyond that, the driving assistance systems and the topic of safety gains importance. An absolute highlight is the new drivetrain. The fourth generation BMW 5 Series is the first volume production vehicle with a completely aluminum chassis. It's 30% lighter compared to standard production. With that, we also interrupted this tendency to make cars heavier. So even though we built a larger car, it was actually a very light car. Lightweight construction also plays a decisive part in the production of the engines. Through the use of aluminum, for example with the 6-cylinder, a weight reduction of 30 kilograms is reached as compared to its predecessor. The fourth generation actually picked up on what the third had already accomplished, an incredible variety of engines. We have from 4 cylinders to 8 cylinders, always at the latest state of the art. 2 years after the new edition of the sedan, the Touring is ready for launch. In comparison to its predecessor, it offers considerably more space. In order to get rid of the disturbing strut domes in the luggage space, we had to design a new compact aluminum rear axle. That was quite a revolutionary concept. We spared no effort to create as much room as possible, and the result was a completely flat loading space. That was new. With the turn of the millennium, the fourth generation receives a comprehensive facelift. The interior is equipped with, amongst others, a new color information display. At the front of the BMW 5, one characteristic is particularly distinctive. Most apparent are the changes to the headlights. This is the first time we have the famous corona rings for the headlights, which until today play a central role in the design of BMW vehicles. In 2004, production of the fourth generation 5 Series ends. Approximately 1.4 million vehicles sold, around 266,000 of them touring. The 5 Series asserts its leading role in the vehicle segment of the upper mid-range class. 30 years after the first 5 Series was launched, BMW presented the 5th generation of the business sedan with impressive, innovative technology and a progressive design. The design of the 5 Series was a conscious decision. We wanted to take another big step forward to have more leeway for the future. From time to time, you have to take a big step. Then you can make small ones. A car has to stay interesting, and this one certainly did that. On the exterior, the large kidney grille and curvaceous headlights with eyebrows are striking. From the side, the 5 Series appears elegant and powerful. The rear view is characterized by the top-set lid and the design of the taillights. Inside, the 5th generation 5 Series had changed completely. The interior of the predecessor was extremely driver-focused, but that was now slightly less pronounced, especially around the center of the dashboard. That meant other users could see the screen better to select their music or input a new destination, for instance. So the focus was slightly more on the front seat passenger too. The 5th generation 5 Series also featured a host of innovative driver assistance systems. One of them was active steering, for better handling at low speeds and enhanced stability at high ones. Another innovation was the head-up display, so customers no longer had to switch between focusing on the road and then the instrument panel. We thought hard about whether that would really benefit the customer, but in the end it turned out to be the strongest resale feature. If you had a head-up display once, you'll want it again. Other highlights included the adaptive headlights with up to 90% better illumination on bends and the iDrive. The iDrive was familiar from the 7 Series, and we transferred it to the 5 Series. The added convenience of this control system gave us such an advantage over our competitors that we decided to incorporate it in the next series down. The BMW 5 Series is about outstanding driving dynamics. A key contributor here is weight. The 5th generation 5 Series hardly weighed much more than its predecessor. In part because of the weight-reduced aluminum front, this allowed us to keep the 50-50 load distribution across the 2 axles. Throughout its lifetime, the new 5 Series was available with a choice of more than 25 engine variants. The most popular was the 6-cylinder 530D, which delivered up to 231 horsepower. An indispensable addition in the 5 Series product range is the Touring. Enhanced variability and extra space were among its top features. Both the Touring and the sedan were given a comprehensive facelift in 2007. With the facelift, we introduced efficient dynamics to the 5th generation. The challenge was to optimize fuel consumption and that the customer should notice the difference. The car clearly used less fuel, without the driver having to change their driving style. The 5th generation 5 Series was manufactured until 2010. With 1.4 million units sold, it was the next chapter in a great success story. The 6th generation was to continue the success of its illustrious predecessors. The 6th generation with the development code F10 was launched in early 2010. In the same year, it took pole position and successfully defended it until the end of production. The 6th generation BMW 5 Series was the most successful to date. The design combines elegance and sportiness to perfection. On the front, the upright kidney grille and the focused look of the headlights are striking. The silhouette is dominated by the coupe-style roofline. The rear, with its L-shaped light cluster and the flared wheel arches, emphasize the sedan's sporty character. We wanted the inside to be like a tailored suit. And I think we achieved that. It has a high-quality feel to it, and it's sporty and driver-focused, especially with its center stack, which is angled to face the driver, and the top-quality materials mean you just get in and feel good. The sixth generation 5 Series was launched with a range of new engines offering superior torque and efficiency. Another highlight is the chassis technology, including the double wishbone front axle. It's made of aluminum and separates wheel control and damping, making for greater agility and enhancing the comfort provided by the suspension. Also new in the sixth generation 5 Series was the electromechanical steering. The electric steering meant we could offer a parking assistant that identifies a parking space in passing and then automatically maneuvers the car into it for you. Besides the parking assistant, which made its world debut in the 5 Series, there was a host of other assistance systems, such as the collision warning with braking function, lane departure warning, and BMW night vision. In developing the 5 Series, safety was a crucial factor. One of the most important assessments is the international safety rating Euro NCAP. The challenge was, 24 months before the 5 Series went into series production, Euro NCAP set out new testing conditions. So we had to make some major adjustments for pedestrian protection. The systems then had to be tested and safely integrated into the vehicle. We managed that successfully and ended up with a 5-star rating. A key role in the 5 Series range plays the Touring. The new generation was even more dynamic, comfortable, and spacious. Additional features in the Touring included remote opening for the tailgate and a more flexible cargo space that's also larger than that of its predecessor. In 2009, the BMW 5 Series Gran Turismo became the founding member of a completely new vehicle type. It combines all the advantages of a sedan with the flexibility of a sports activity vehicle and the qualities of a Gran Turismo. The sixth generation 5 Series soon advanced to become a bestseller. Just 3 years after market launch, it had sold over 1 million units. It underwent a subtle refresh in 2013. For the first time, LED headlights were available in the 5 Series. The front was carefully modified, and we introduced 2 lines, the modern line and the luxury line. We also launched the Traffic Jam Assistant, which made the 5 Series the first BMW ever to keep in-lane autonomously. As the BMW Group launches electrified versions of its fleet, the 5 Series also is available as a hybrid. The BMW Active Hybrid 5 combines the qualities of a combustion-powered car with the efficiency and dynamics of an electric one. In China, we met the need for prestigious, comfortable vehicles with a dedicated 5 Series extended wheelbase. It immediately became a bestseller, well beyond anything that had gone before. 1 in 3 5 Series made for China has an extended wheelbase. The 6th generation 5 Series is a truly extraordinary vehicle. Throughout its lifetime, it won countless comparison tests and awards. With over 2.3 million units sold, it's also the most successful generation ever.
This is the new BMW 5 Series. We've made it even better with a more luxurious interior and leading-edge connectivity, all underpinned by a completely updated front and rear design. Our head of BMW design, Domagoj Dukic, will tell you more about that soon. Looking at drivetrains, more and more of our 5 Series customers want to drive electric, especially in urban areas. That's why the 5 will offer the widest range of plug-in hybrids in the BMW portfolio. Plug-in hybrids deliver a very real and positive contribution to lowering emissions. Initially, there will be 2 plug-in hybrid models available upon launch of the 5, and we will be adding 3 more in November. With the exception of the high-performance model M550i, all combustion engine models will feature mild hybrid technology, leading to CO2 reductions of up to 9 grams per kilometer. And I can tell you, all model variants will meet the Euro 6D emission standard. All of this means more sheer driving pleasure with fewer emissions. Our customers expect nothing less. For many of our customers, the 5 is their business partner when they are on the road. It provides support as a personal mobile office, as well as offering a sphere of privacy. And of course, it features the very latest innovations in driver assistance, vehicle interaction, and connectivity. More on that shortly, but first let's go to the BMW Group Classic, where Domagoj will give you further details on the new and modern design of the 5.